2023 was a massive year for video game releases. Anybody who paid even a little attention can tell you that. Understandably, we can expect to temper our expectations for 2024. While there have been big releases so far this year and still more to come, a lot of companies released their big guns last year, and they'll need some time to bring out some more hits. However, there is one company that's been firing off like crazy lately and shows no signs of stopping anytime soon. Atlus's beginnings lie in several archived web pages that either don't exist anymore or are in Japanese, but it goes something like this. The company started in 1986 as a game developer that would make games for other companies. One notable release was Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei, published in 1987. As you may guess from the title, this is the game that started the Megami Tensei franchise. It's crazy to think that the nexus of the Shin Megami Tensei and Persona series goes back that far. It's a testament to how beloved these games are by fans all around the world to still be kicking after several decades. And not only are they still kicking, they've arguably never been bigger than they are right now. With Persona 5 rocketing its way to mainstream status throughout its run, including a spot on the Smash roster, Atlus's cornerstone franchise has seen immense growth in the last few years. SMT5 sold 1 million copies in 6 months of its release, and it was a Switch exclusive. It's no wonder that they decided to strip the last 3 mainline Persona games of their PlayStation exclusive status in recent years. The numbers speak for themselves. This move to multi-platform releases for some recent and future titles has no doubt spread Atlus's likeness around like never before, and 2024 is shaping up for what could be their biggest year yet. It started off with a bang. Persona 3 Reload released, and 6 days later, it became the fastest selling Atlus game ever. 1 million copies in less than a week, and rave reviews across the board. Having sunk nearly 100 hours into it myself, I can attest that it's pretty damn good. And it was a long time coming. Persona 3 was widely considered the most inaccessible game in the modern trilogy, and it didn't help that Persona 4 Golden got a port to Steam in 2020, almost 3 years prior to the trilogy ports to all modern platforms. Even with the port though, Persona 3 was held back by dated game mechanics that most players would find unappealing. Persona 3 Portable is still on Steam if you're curious about checking out what the original was like though. Who knows, maybe you'll like it more because it has FMC. Valid argument. But for the vast majority, Reload is the game they had been waiting on for years, and it delivered on most fronts. And then, hot off the heels of one remake releasing, in come the leakers talking about the apparently in-development remakes of Persona 4 and Persona 2. This got the community talking about all the good and bad of what would come of this if it were true. Some valid points either way, but that's a topic for another video. What's clear here is that Atlus sees the reaction Reload is getting, and wants to keep their momentum going throughout the year. About a month after Persona 3 Reload came Unicorn Overlord, which was published in Japan by Atlus and the rest of the world by Sega, their parent company. This wasn't developed by Atlus, but it's notable in that it was highly anticipated in Japan, where it actually sold out of physical copies. In the day of digital downloads, that's pretty crazy. It's also been a hit worldwide, hitting the 500,000 mark within a month of release. Barely 3 months into the year and already 2 very successful games under their belts. For a lot of studios, this in itself will be a full year's work. Even just one successful game will be enough to keep your company going, right? Right? But Atlus is determined to make 2024 their year. They've still got a lot to do. As June approaches, the expanded version of SMT5, Vengeance, will be releasing. Unlike the original game, this will be released on all modern platforms and PC, which could exponentially increase the success it sees. A few months later, in September, Persona 3 Reload is getting the Episode Aegis The Answer DLC, bringing the previously FES exclusive epilogue to modern consoles. At a price, of course. And then, in October, we're finally getting to see what the hype surrounding Metaphor ReFantazio is all about. This is the first new IP Atlus has developed in 13 years, and from what we've seen so far, it looks like the game is taking the best from Persona and SMT and smashing it together to create something brand new, but also familiar. With this being the last big thing on their official list for 2024, Metaphor could be their send-off for this huge year, and a pretty nice cap on it, being another potential pillar in the making for the company. Or, they could finally pull out a card they've been holding on to for quite a while, that would set the fanbase on fire and provide build-up for the coming years to keep their momentum going. You know what I'm talking about. We already know that Persona 6 has been in development since 2019, and we've gotten multiple hints at it from official Atlus sources. Information regarding P6 has reached a head in recent months though, with credible leakers giving vital information on the next entry. Midori, probably the most notable Atlus leaker / insider, wrote on Twitter in early April that the color theme for the game will be green, seemingly ending years of speculation. That green paint bucket wasn't a lie after all. And what's more, Midori has also said that the game will release sometime between 2025 and 2026, which would mean that an announcement could be imminent. A user on Twitter, Persona Central, has stated that Atlus has said nothing about no new game announcements at their FES Fest in June, something they normally do. And this was retweeted by Midori, so do what you will with that information. Even if there is a new game announcement at this fest, I doubt it'll be P6. If they do pull that announcement out this year, I think it'll be towards the end of the year, after their 2024 plate is clean and the audience is ready for dessert. Maybe we'll see an announcement at the Game Awards in December. I know that sounds like copium, but regardless, this is shaping up to be an enormous year for Atlus, and the fans will always welcome that.